Evening, YouTube. How are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing 2019 so far. So, in my previous videos, I had just got in a Polymer 80 frame, and I was real excited about building this frame out and making a good, awesome range gun to take to the range and just bam, just nail targets downrange. All right, so this past week, I finally finished it and took it to the range today. And here it is. All right, first things first, no magazine, and the chamber is empty. Like I said, I took it to the range today to get his first shots off. Looking at it, I kind of went out of my well with this. All right, it's more of a tactical gun than I wanted, but I actually enjoyed building it and seeing how it came out as my first Polymer 80 build. All right, so first off, with this Polymer 80, I have a Brownells exclusive rough texture Polymer 80 full size frame. This past weekend there was a gun show and I ended up picking up this Zev Dragonfly slide. It was completed, so it had titanium nitride dimpled Zev barrel. Has a Zev skeletonized firing pin with a Zev spring. I added a Lightning Strike titanium plunger with the lightweight spring, or Overwatch Precision DAT trigger. Originally I had a Ghost 3.5 pound connector in here, but I was having issues with it and I had to go with a regular Glock connector out of my Gen 4 Glock 19. And it has a 6-pound trigger spring. So on order right now, it should be here next couple of days. I have Zev fiber optic sights and the Zev RMR plate. My overall impressions of this gun is it's a great shooter once it got going. At first, I was having major issues with failure to feed, right? So after looking at it for a while, I came down to two things. All right, the first thing was the connector, because like I said, originally I had a Ghost 3.5 pound connector in here, and it would barely rack when I had that connector in there. So I ended up taking the connector out of my Gen 4 Glock 19, throwing it in here, and it has a factory connector in here. But with that 3.5 pound connector, I was having issues racking the slide. You could hear grinding in there like it just wouldn't rack. After taking a look at it, which I'll show you on the tabletop, there's a groove being ground where the connector moves. All right, so while firing it, I thought that maybe it might have been the connector, that it probably needed to be ground down just a little bit, which it did from firing it, but it fixed itself. The second issue I had was these magazines, the Magpul PMag 17 GL9s. All right, for whatever reason, the rounds were getting, the spring wasn't going all the way up, and the rounds were they wouldn't move. So it was causing the gun to have failure to feeds, and the rounds were getting stuck in there. I was shooting steel cased Winchesters, so I thought that might have been an issue. But since it's a Glock, they pretty much shoot anything. So from the video, as you can see, I'm getting very frustrated, especially with the magazine. I tried it in my Glock Gen 4, and it did the same thing. So I eventually ended up throwing the magazine that I had with me away. I said, I'm done with it. I'm never going to buy these again. So I do not recommend these Magpul PMag GL9s. Won't recommend it. Won't use them again. And I only bought them specifically just for the range. But my overall impression of this Polymer 80, it is an amazing firearm. I kind of, like I said, I went a little bit out of my wheel well by adding a ZEV slide. But this is very, very lightweight, surprisingly lightweight. It actually feels like you're holding a toy. It doesn't feel like you're holding a gun. So I thought with it being this lightweight that I was going to have a lot of muzzle flip. But it stayed down and was very manageable, and there was very little recoil with this gun. The Overwatch Precision trigger is an amazing trigger. This is the Overwatch Precision DAT with the metal shoe and the NP3 coated trigger bar. Let's move over to the tabletop for a quick look. Here we are at the table looking at this Polymer 80 build that I just finished up. This ZEV slide has this diamond-like coating on there, or near diamond-like coating on there, that is pretty amazing. So some lights it looks like it is silver, and then you hit it another light or another angle, it might turn a brownish color. To me, I think it looks amazing. So this went from a far departure from where I wanted to build my first Polymer 80. So I tried to stay within a nice little budget for my Polymer 80, but the moment I saw this ZEV slide, I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and get it. So first things first, weapon cleared, no magazine, no ammo. So what can I say about it? I can say that this thing is actually surprisingly lightweight. I was highly surprised at how light this gun is. My shooting impressions was that even though it's light, it was a flat shooter from shooting. This particular slide came with everything here. So the Dragonfly slide, it came with this dimpled match barrel from ZEV. It has the skeletonized firing pin with the spring. I believe it's like a 4-pound spring. I added the Lightning Strike titanium plunger with the lightweight spring, but overall this gun shoots amazing. So for the frame, I have this Overwatch Precision Poly DAT trigger. So originally I was going to put this Apex trigger in there, but the Apex trigger didn't arrive, and by the time I got this slide, so I decided to take the trigger that I was going to put in this gun in here. So pretty smooth trigger. So here's your take up, here's your release, and here's your reset. So it's very light trigger. The issue that I had earlier with this is that when I first installed the Ghost 3.5-pound connector, I was having an issue right there where this portion of it was rubbing up against the slide right there. It was causing all kind of grinding, and it would barely let me rack the slide. So I decided to go ahead and put a factory connector in there, a 5-pound connector in there. So let's have a 6-pound ZEV trigger spring in there. And like I said, it has this Lightning Strike titanium safety plunger, which is also titanium nitride coated, and a lightweight spring. And I believe this is a 4-pound ZEV spring that's on this firing pin. Pull out the Diamond's test gauge and check the trigger pull, and we'll go from there. It's cleared again. Let me see. The first pull is going to be, wow, 3 pounds, 12.9 ounces. Pull is going to be 3 pounds, 6.9 ounces. Third pull is going to be 4 pounds. So for me, I wanted to get it towards I wanted to get it to about 3.5 pounds. I'm happy with the results of it. I'm kind of was somewhat bummed that the 3.5 pound connector didn't work with it, but overall it is a very good shooter. Me, it's primarily just a range gun. I'm never going to conceal carry this, not because it's a Polymer 80, but just don't feel that I'm going to conceal carry this. So since this is my first Polymer 80 build, I'm extremely happy with the results, and my next one is going to be on budget and on time, but this is a pretty good gun. So if you're looking for something to customize, the Polymer 80 is a good option. You can build it exactly how you want it to your specifications, and in essence, in the long run, it will be less expensive than, say, buying a Glock and sending it out to have work done to it. When I bought this, I looked online and I looked at Zev and I looked at Agency to see how much it costs to actually customize the gun. What I was finding was that it cost about between $1,600 and $2,600 for an Agency or a Zev gun. I want to say thank you all for your support. For my 100th subscriber, I will be giving away a MSR Kydex holster. MSR Kydex is a veteran-owned small business. It is owned by a Navy vet named Jason, and he's a pretty good guy. Go to msrkydex.com and check them out, see what they have and what they can do for you. If you like the video, please like and subscribe.